Okay, we've started a little bit early this morning. We just wanted to make sure that we had the tablet set correctly. So Graham will be with us in a few moments. So yes, I hope you'll bring Spanky with him. Spanky got through quarantine on his trip, on his way back from the United States, and he's been working hard all week at sleeping it off, that is. So we had a fabulous trip. Arrived back last Friday, so just it's Saturday here, Friday in the USA. The plane landed a bit earlier than expected. It was only a 14-hour flight back, 14 hours and 6 minutes compared to 15 and a half hours. So we actually had a tailwind, which is great because, you know, it's a lot less time. As the closer you get, you want to get off that damn plane. But regardless, it was worth it. Really, really was. Met a lot of new people this time, more than we've met before. New people that we watch our videos and so on, and we've had a lot of great feedback about our videos, so that sort of gave us a warm and fuzzy feeling. And here he is. He's back, and he's missed his girlfriend Skanky.
She doesn't know what he got up to.
Yeah, she doesn't know what he got up to. What happened in the USA stays in the USA. So here's Graham just joined me now, so we'll just move this over so we can both be in the picture.
Here's it all going.
And we'll talk a little bit more about what we did. So what have you been up to while I was away firstly, Graham?
Come in. Well, we just done, we finished up the Jungle Princess that we had here when Kim was leaving, pretty well the next week. And then we started work on a Jungle Queen, and we finished that pretty well now. Just had to tighten up a bit, but it wasn't too bad. And in between that, we stripped down the playfield, to drop a card, just send that away to get painted again, and a few other little jobs. We had a couple of call outs. We had to go out and fix a jet spin on the road, one that we'd done about 3 years ago. Just had a little bit of a problem. The ball weren't kicking out 100%. Was just it was actually on the game over, really, I think. Yeah, wasn't hard to find, but yeah, not a great deal. And we had a few blokes come around every day. It's a bit like a holiday, so it was good. So nothing out of the ordinary. Just a lot of late lunches, which was good. And yeah, now things are back to normal. It's good to have Kim back, get a bit of work done instead of just sitting around in holiday mode. So it's good to have him back. He looks a bit hungover, but
yeah. Actually, I didn't drink an awful lot over there, just moderately. Alcohol is so inexpensive compared to Australia. In the United States, it's not funny. I had a 22-ounce beer, Quaker's Steak and Lube there in York. What was it? $4. Wow, you know, and that's just a bit over, probably around $6 Australian, which is super cheap.
Well, beer's only just gone up here again as well.
Yeah, it had to. Yeah, just before I went away.
Oh, even
trying to
carton beers are ridiculous now with the price.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So hang on, someone said something then. Oh, hi Tony.
Hi Tony.
Monica's still in a coma. Yeah, well, it took me a couple of days, Tony, to get over it. I arrived home at 11 a.m. on the Friday in my front door, and I had something to eat. You won't believe it, I had a pie. And then I went and had a lay down, and I was going to go to the pub in the afternoon. So I sort of set my alarm for 3:30 to wake up to go to the pub at 4. I sort of woke up and went in a daze, and I didn't wake up again until about 8 o'clock at night, so I was pretty out of it. I'm just trying to work out why we're getting that effect. I think we might have to go around the other side, Graham. See that blinking effect?
Going dark and light.
Going dark and light. I don't know why that is. It must be something to do with the light. Let's change position. We'll just turn around and see what happens, eh?
Yeah.
Bear with us, people. See if that makes any difference. Yes, it has. We're getting some sort of light reflection or refraction there somehow. It's sun's just getting in the right position. So what else we've got happening now is oh, here you go. Look, here's a special treat for you. Here's Abby.
Yeah, shed dog.
Goat shed dog. So what do we got? We've currently got a dropper card on the operating table stripped down. That was brought into us
Oh, it was only one day last week.
early last week.
We finished the back box already.
And yeah, we've done all the back box.
One score rule was really bad.
Had a couple of hacks in it. Had hacks in the replay unit. Wires joined together. I think someone's way of achieving free
But it
play.
always happens, Ken. Once we do one machine like drop a card, we get another one in.
Yeah,
So does the Jungle Queen.
that's true.
Because we've got another Jungle Queen there to go after this one.
Yeah, there's another Jungle Queen, and actually this morning around about 9 a.m, so approximately an hour's time, like I said, we started this live broadcast a little earlier for those of you that just joined us. I'd had trouble in the past with the tablet with the orientation, and it seemed to work okay this time, so I don't know whether that was a YouTube issue or it was a me issue. But anyway, it's all good. Yeah, we've got an ice show, which is the Outer Ball of Ice review coming in. The guy actually phoned earlier this week, and when people ring up about a pinball machine, I put on my phone so I know the number, so you know it's not a scammer or something, what game they've got, and it came up Ice Show. And I thought, gee, I remember talking to that guy, but that's ages ago. Anyway, when he got off, he said, oh, I spoke to you 6 months ago. When I got off the phone, I looked up the last phone conversation I had with this guy, and it was July 2022.
Yeah.
So
Time goes quick.
Time goes quick. Well, it went quick for me in the States. And then we've got we're on and off over the last 12 months because it's had cosmetic things done to it. We're working on a EM Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
It's beautiful.
So it's a lovely machine. We'll probably do a whole video on it in the coming weeks or week or so. It's got a few issues at the moment we've got to resolve, so we'll do some troubleshooting on that. Hopefully there'll be a bit of interest in that. You know, it's one of those late model games. I think the unique thing about Close Encounters, Graham, is it has the only EM game to have both roto target and drop target or something, isn't it? Is that the
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what someone said there. I think
it's got, and of course that game came out as a solid state game as well. The main difference being you could get a 5x bonus. That's really the prime difference, and I think there was some difference in the artwork. But we'll talk all about that when we do it.
You had the choice of a soundboard or chimes.
Yeah, you had to buy either or.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit bizarre. So you didn't get chimes with it, and you didn't get a sound card with it. You had to add that on to your purchase.
Yeah, so you put the sound card in the EM.
Yeah, and this one's got both.
And we've hooked up some toggle switches.
So,
How you want it.
So you can have one or the other.
One or the other,
Yeah, okay. Right, so we've got that, and what did we miss? There's something we missed.
We're still doing a little bit of cosmetic stuff on the lightning ball.
Oh, lightning ball, yeah.
Slow down a bit because we're waiting on some inserts.
Lightning ball, we're getting the playfield overlay made for it. We've got the playfield back. It's sanded down, so there's no image on it any longer. But we have to clear coat it, and then the image gets laid over it, and then it gets clear coated again. But once we do that, we're putting brand new playfield inserts in. So when I was away, I went to Pinball Resource and I bought some inserts, but unfortunately Steve Young was out of white 1-inch inserts, and I emailed him just yesterday, day before yesterday, and he still hasn't got them. So anyway, we'll get that eventually.
We've got other things to do.
That'll happen.
It's a slow project.
Yeah, it is.
We don't want to rush it.
Yeah, so is there anyone out there now that we met in America? Anyone viewing at the moment? No? Well, so we started our pinball tour I started in San Diego. I spent 5 nights there with some friends when I arrived. And then I met up with my travelling buddy Craig. I met him in Long Beach, California, and we went to a who's that saying me? Ben Barchek. Ben, where did I meet you at? Just tell me, please. It might refresh my frail memory. And then we went to Randy Peck's New Pike Arcade, and we spent pretty much the whole day there. And then we went back to a dinner at John Osborne's place. And then the Saturday we went on a cruise on Long Beach Harbour with Ben and John at York. Oh, of course, remember now. Old age, mate. Old age. I'm getting old. So Ben, that just was in the chat then, caught up with us in York at the York White Rose Game Room show. And our good friend Dave Lipinski had his RV there, and he set up a barbecue, and we had, what do we have? We had burgers, we had hot dogs, we had pizza. Thanks for that, Dave.
Any beer?
Oh yeah, we had a beer. Yeah, Yangling, of course. When in Pennsylvania, one must drink Yangling beer. I believe the oldest brewery in the United States. But yeah, from there, from that Long Beach Harbour cruise with Jan and John, we went and had some lunch and so on. And then the next day, we had to get up early to get to LA airport. We flew to New York City, and we spent 4 nights in New York City, the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night. What did we do in New York City? We went to the Statue of Liberty. We'd parked on the Staten Island ferry before we decided we'd go there. So we're glad we did. It was well worth it. We did the pedestal thing, where you go up on the pedestal, but you can't go around. You've got to book ages in advance. I could have made it up the stairs anyway. We caught the subway up to Central Park. It was John Lennon's birthday, so that was October 9th. They had Beatles tribute band in there, and we were actually in Strawberry Fields, so that was pretty cool. What else did we do? We went to a pizza shop where one of the presidents, I think it was President Johnson, used to eat pizza around the corner. We stayed at the old Art Deco New Yorker hotel, and we had a view looking straight out the window at the Empire State Building at night, so that was really nice. It was lovely. What else did we do? We went to a few bars and had a few drinks and that. The baseball season was still happening, getting toward the end, so went and watched, I think, the New York Yankees play in a bar, and that was okay. It was great. And then we rented a vehicle and we drove to York. Video frozen at my end. Anyone else having that trouble? Alright. Just let us know if we've got video quality. It should be okay. We look like we're doing okay here. These things happen. Audio is fine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What else have we got there? Yep. Yeah. Okay, well, anyone else hear us but can't see us? I mean, Tony lives in Melbourne, and to us Australians, that's almost the end of the world. No one goes to Melbourne, do they, Graham?
Oh, terrible place.
Terrible place, yeah.
You don't get there on a bet.
No. Yeah, all right. And at York, when we finally got to York, as we mentioned, we met people. We met our old good friends, Pat Gallagher, Dave Matrando. Oh, that's the other place we went to in New York. We went to Steve Young's Pinball Resource. We got to go to his private home. And there's Jim. G'day, Jim. Jim Holder from,
hey, Jim. There you go, mate.
From PA there. Oh, hi, Bob. Here's my good friend Bob from Rockford, Illinois.
Bob, go Bob.
And we had a good time up at Steve's, and Dave Matrando took us to the Bad Apple Cider Brewery. Yeah, where he's got some pinball machines on site. And we met the guy there that owned it, and I can't remember his name now. It might have been Arthur. And the guy gave us hoodies each, and he was so elated that we took the time to visit his orchard and his brewery, and it was really cool. We had cider, we had a tasting tray of cider. Not my preferred drink, I prefer beer, but it was quite nice. We had a pumpkin cider, very, very nice.
Good.
So that was great. We were really, really, really good there. All good now, glitch at my end, yeah. See, Melbourneitis, Tony, Melbourneitis.
Yeah. Bad connections out here.
Yeah, so in York, then we also caught up with Dave Matrando, came down to York, and we saw Tom Considine, and caught up with Jeffrey Lawton, the bingo guy. He actually was staying in the same hotel, and we came down in the elevator together. At first I couldn't remember who he was, but he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And look, so many other people we met, people that came up to us and said, hi, how you going? We had a few young people. Ben, you might remember those young people that came along, and they were from Brooklyn, I think, and they was 3 guys and a girl. Do you remember them? And they were good. They also turned up at Chicago at Expo. So from York, we caught up with Bingo Butch. He was there, only for a little while. He's getting quite elderly now. Who else did we catch up with? All the bingo guys, Steve Smith, and of course Phil Bogemer. We caught up with Phil, and Phil travelled with us. So we'll talk about that in a minute. That was really good. He had a great time. For any of you that don't know, Phil is a bingo guy. He's really not
He's the man.
Flipper Pinball. He's been up there with the guys for many years. He lives in Denver, Colorado, and he is one of the
best,
one of the better bingo guys out there, you know. So he decided he wanted to travel with us. And look, I mean, there's probably people I've forgotten to mention, but Nick Baldridge. We caught up with Nick Baldridge, had a look at his pinball machine that he's got. I walked past him 10 times till I realised he was there.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
So the York show went the Friday and the Saturday, and then we all went to dinner. I mentioned Quaker Steak and Lube a bit there, and here's Craig. Hi, Craig. Craig's the guy that I travel with. Craig missed out on a lot of the good times, but anyway, he had to get back, work commitments. These things happen, so it's different when you're retired. What we did, we had Phil came with us from York and drove with us across to Chicago. So we did the next day, the Sunday, we went up to Pottsville. Well, I'll say up to Pottsville. It was sort of out, I think, from York. We went to see Bingo Butch and Mike Lauder, but unfortunately Butch was unwell on the Sunday, and Mike was out on the route fixing machines. So what we ended up doing, we ended up driving to a place called Mifflinville, and we visited Jeff Moorhead. So we went to Jeff's place there and saw all his stuff. It's in this big old, well, apparently it was a school back in the day, and it looks more like a barn. And it's a lot of fabulous machines, and most of you probably know in the States, Jeff is the distributor for the back glasses of Shea Arcade. There's all these back glasses and that there. So we went there, and then we decided, we had Phil with us, as I said, so the 3 of us decided, well, I think it was roughly maybe a 4-hour trip to Girard, Ohio. And everyone knows what's in Girard, Ohio, don't you? It's the Pastimes Arcade. And we got there at about maybe a little bit after 5 in the afternoon, and there was all these Penske trucks lined up in the car park. They were chock-a-block full of pinball machines that had been loaded up to go to Chicago. We couldn't get in. We were locked out because it was actually closed for the day. So what happened was we actually are friends with one of the guys that works there, Pat Rick Baldwin, and we messaged him or phoned him up, and he said, hey, I can get you in. There's a guy in there at the moment. I'll phone him. And anyway, a guy called Marcelo Blanco came and answered the door, and he was in the States. I think he's gone back now. He's a professional pinball restorer from South America. Jukeboxes. Does beautiful work. He showed us photos of his work, and he let us in, and we had a bit of a look around, because last time Craig and I were there, in 2022. Um, the place wasn't officially opened, and the diner part of it wasn't there. It was just a cement floor with nothing on it. Now that's all completed, and we got to have a good look around. And then that night we stayed in like the next neighbourhood near it called Youngstown, but we went and had dinner at a sports bar in a little side street in Gerard. And, oh, it was a great choice. The people loved us,
Yeah.
and
About the goat.
there we had the goat. Yeah, there's a photo of the goat was the waitress and the lady that owned the place, and that Marcelo ended up turning up over there, so that was really good as well. Um, let's see. Then the next day we got up and we drove through Ohio, and we ended up calling into a place called what was it called? Something Lake. Uh, I don't know. I can't remember. But a real quaint little town had an antique shop, and it was right on Lake Erie, at one end of Lake Erie, and Lake Geneva. That was it, or Geneva Lakes. That's what it was called. Because our friend Phil had suggested he'd been there about 30 years before, so we went there. Had a walk up and down the street. It was a Monday, so a lot of things were closed, and there was this one bar open, and we said we'll go in there for lunch. We saw people come out of it when we drove up the street, but anyway, there was only the four of us in there, and the waitress looked after us, and we were surprised they even did meals, but they did, and the meals were really absolutely beautiful. I had this burger with their own bourbon sauce, they called it. It was some creamy sauce, and it was just divine. It was lovely. So it was a great little place that you normally, I mean, the average tourist wouldn't see. And that's what we like to do when we're in America. We like to go to places that are off the beaten track, as we say here in Australia, where someone normally wouldn't go unless they had friends or relations there, perhaps. So yeah, that was really good. And then that night we actually we drove up to Michigan that day, that next day, sorry, and which was the Tuesday. And oh, hang on, maybe the Monday night we got there. It's hard to think. But anyway, we went to Clay Harrell's VFW, and we were graced with a visit to Clay, and we got to go to his home and see his private collection, which was pretty cool. Some rare games, not necessarily pinball, but games such as Gottlieb's Bowlette and gun games and submarine games you don't see many of around. And then the next day we got up and drove up and across to Chicago, and we arrived there on the Tuesday. Now Expo went an extra day this year, as most people would know, and we got there, I don't know, must have been after 2, because we were able to check straight into the hotel, and we went for a bit of a run round. And Expo this year was a lot bigger than one I've ever experienced. It was a little bit more commercialised, I think, with a lot more vendors there in the hall, because the free play area was opposite to the vendor hall. There was a lot of foreign visitors, and we caught up with a few Australians. So there was this guy that's in the chat now, Tony and Monica from Melbourne. We met them. We all went and had a drink after the talk I gave on the Thursday night. There was Cliff Tucker from
Cliffy.
up far north
He
Queensland.
goes everywhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was
He's a
there.
shocker.
He was there with his friend Rawdon. There was a guy called Stephen Smith. Now, he comes from the ACT, which is the Australian Capital Territory, or Canberra for short. And he spoke at the expo, and I went and listened to him because he had the 5 Hankin pinball machines that were made. And those of you that don't know or may not have ever heard of Hankin, what were they, Graham?
Oh, they were amusement distributors back from the 50s right through to now. But they made their own pinball machines, and what I think they started 78. But they owned roughly 25 arcades around Newcastle back in the days, especially the 60s and the 70s, and everywhere you went were Hankin machines. and you pretty well knew who they were, the Hankin machines, because they had the fake wood grain on the top arch there.
Oh, we'll show you that after. We've got a machine
Yeah.
down there like
From
that.
Hankin. So every time we see a machine comes, it's got this fake wood grain up the ball alley and the top arch, you know, oh, Hankin game. And when you know it's a Hankin game, you think, well, it was probably pretty good condition because they were kept in really great condition on site. Because like when we were a kid and the Hankin machine broke down, just told the guy, that flipper's not working right, and the Hankins will be out within an hour to fix it. They were great. And so they made their 5 pinball machines, and actually in Australia, it's very, very rare to find someone who's got the actual 5 in their collection, so that would have been quite a treat.
Yeah, so this guy had the 5, and he's also got another 5. So he had 10. And what were the titles, Graham? So we had Orbit, FJ Holden,
Shark.
How's that? And
Shark.
And what was that? And Shark. Oh, hang on, what was the other one? The space.
Had the Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah. So that was pretty good. We had so they were a local company, Hankin, A. Hankin, Alec Hankin and Co. And it turns out there was 2 main pinball distributors in our area, which is Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. And there was Hankin, they were certainly the biggest. They ended up with branches in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. Yeah. I think they were Australia-wide. They got quite big.
Yeah.
And the other company was NAD, Newcastle Amusements Distributing. Now, as kids, they used to have stickers on their machines. And if we ever saw a machine that had the NAD sticker, we often wouldn't play it because there was often always something wrong with it. A flipper wouldn't work properly or a pop bumper wouldn't pop. There was just something about them. And
they'd be out of order for days and days.
And they often they operated a number of the old Chicago coin Bronco and what was the other one? The car racing one, Bronco and the 60s games. Gee. I didn't enjoy playing them at all.
Bronco.
Chicago coin one, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't okay. But
what was the other one though?
Well, they had a Mustang.
Mustang, Mustang, yeah.
You see some of them.
So two names that Gottlieb came up with later on.
Yeah.
But their Mustang was about the Mustang car, and the Gottlieb one was Bronco the horse.
Yeah.
Well, Mustang the horse. We Graham and I actually got to speak. Both those companies still exist. That's what I'm trying to say. They're both into maybe pool tables, video jukeboxes.
Actually, the owner at NAD's actually been to Goat Shed.
Yeah, and we met him, and he told us a bit of history about how his granddad and Alec Hankin were in business together selling slot machines in the early days. So,
Which we call poker machines in Australia.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. Yeah, we call them poker machines. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit noisy, isn't it? So we actually got to have a bit of a chat with him, which was quite interesting to hear a little bit about the history of both those 2 companies from the early days, and learn what actually went on.
Yeah. They're very, very interesting people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went into Hankins when they were closing up in 2002, and I managed to get a lot of the new old stock parts for the pinball machines, and we heard a few horror stories back then as well about how the day before we got there, they took a whole skip full of brand new pinball parts to the tip. And when we got there, they had 1 skip there they were filling up and had 2 complete car driving games in it. Nothing wrong with them, they were just chucking them. Chucking out pool tables, everything. Everything had to go. And great time.
It's a bit hard to see there, but there's a picture and it says Playomac. I don't know if you can see that. That's the old Hankin pinball parlour right up the top end of Newcastle City.
Yeah.
If you could keep walking out of the picture towards the camera and turn right, you were at the beach.
Yeah.
So that was it. I've also got a picture here.
All them buildings are gone now.
Yeah, they have.
It's just a park.
And there's another arcade called the Colony, and that was up at a holiday resort called Foster. Now, I don't think Hankins owned that, did they?
No, it's a privately owned place.
Yeah.
I used to go there on holidays back in the 70s, and it was wonderful.
So that photo would have been taken in the 60s.
Yeah, early 60s.
there's a mini miner there and like an EK Holden car, I think. So
Yeah, there's an EH there or two,
yeah,
or an EJ.
so it's probably about 65, 64, 65.
Mm.
And yeah, that was
It was a well-known arcade back then.
yeah. So anyway, that Stephen Smith, getting back to it, he ended up bringing those machines to Expo, and he actually sold the whole 5. Have a guess who bought them? Can you guess? Someone type me an answer. Who bought 5 machines at Expo?
Whoever wins gets the free night out with Spanky.
Yeah, that's right. He's waiting. Does anybody know? Not yet. Someone will come up with the answer. Have a guess. Everyone have a guess. Everyone's watching. Have a guess who bought the 5 Hankin pinball machines. No, it wasn't Spanky. You lose. What's the prize? Well, for you, Brett, an extra $100 on your next bill. Oh, a discount. Sorry, discount.
No, on it.
On it. Rightio. Come on, surely someone can guess. Surely. Yes, that's correct. Only because we told you.
Yeah.
You cheated.
No prize for you.
Yeah, prize for you.
It's Spanky not like you anyway.
Yeah, so Rob Burke bought those 5 machines. As we mentioned, they'd never been exhibited
They will be now.
anywhere in the world together. Even at our Pinfest.
Even in Australia, it's very rare to see.
Yeah.
We might see 2 at Pinfest, but not the whole lot.
Yeah, so we've made a connection with that guy now. So he was one of the other Australians there, and we got off the beaten track a little bit there. And I think Craig met a couple from somewhere. I don't know where they were from. But, you know, there was a few more Australians there this year than just Craig and myself. They said, oh, God damn, not you guys again. But they let us back. Yeah. From Expo, while at Expo, we did live shows, or I did, with, he also sold another Empire Strikes Back in the auction for $11K US. Wow.
Amazing.
That's a lot of money for an old pinball machine.
Well, we used to buy them for about $300 back in the late 90s.
Yeah, right. There was a lot. They didn't make that many, did they?
Not a great deal. No,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone knows exactly how many they made.
Oh, right. Okay.
Everyone's got a rough idea.
Yeah. I wonder if David Hankin knows. Probably does.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyhow, David Hankin, I just mentioned, he was the son of Alec Hankin. And he was actually supposed to turn up with that Steve Smith at Expo, but at the last minute something happened and he couldn't do it. Not exactly sure why, but this Steve elocuted very well and had a good history of the Hankin company, which he obviously got off David. And he did miss one thing. He failed to mention that arcade at the top of Newcastle, and I pointed that out to him when we had a drink, and he said, yeah, look, he knew he had time constraints, which you do with those things. But while in Chicago, we actually went into the city itself. We had a vehicle, so we drove to Deerfield. We know a station there called Lake Cook Road, and my buddy Craig that I travel with loves to go shopping, don't you, Craig? Just loves it. And there's a Home Depot right there, so he was in Milwaukee Tool Heaven while walking around there, and then we caught the train to Union Station in Chicago, and we just walked around downtown, you know, around State Street, Michigan Avenue, and all around there, and we ended up deciding we'd never been on the on the elevated train. Let's go around the loop, because we'd heard all about it, so we worked out what to do, and we went to get on the L, and it wouldn't accept our international credit cards. It's the only place in America that wouldn't do it. Anyhow, how are we going to do this? Anyway, there was a booth there, and a lady was in there, and she saw the dilemma and came out and said, oh, international. No, it won't work. I don't know why, once again. But anyway, she tapped us in, and away we went. We went round the L, and we got off at a place called the Market, City Market or something. Big building full of stuff. And we walked around, and we went down to the Corn Cobs in Marina City. And we actually, believe it or not, got to go up on the roof. But we only got us to the 60th floor, and the guy said there was a sign on the door. They were resurfacing this roof. Otherwise, we would have got to go out in those historic buildings. For those of you that don't know the Corn Cob, look it up. It's twin building, built in 1964, and it's right on the Chicago River. And the way it's shaped, it's round, and it just does look like a corn cob. So pretty good. And yeah, so then we went back. So on the Sunday after Expo, we drove up to. We had to say farewell to our friend Phil on the Saturday. He had to break away. Unfortunately, he didn't get to come to us to Wisconsin, but needless to say, he had a fabulous time. We had a few beers together in Chicago and had a great time, didn't we, Phil? If you're still there, he he split, and then we went to a private collector in Michigan. And I actually caught up with a fellow YouTuber, Mark Valuch. Mark runs Mark's Basement Arcade, for those of you that may or may not be familiar. He's in all the pinball groups on Facebook too. He came and said g'day, and we exchanged gifts. And then we went to, we drove about an hour and a bit to Rockford, Illinois, and we spent the night on a farm. Craig left, that was Monday the 21st, he had to leave, and I spent 4 nights there all up with my good friends Bob and Shannon Milsner. We had a great time. Got to see the sights of Rockford, learn a little bit about it, got to meet a guy who is great friends with Bunny Carlos, the former drummer of Cheap Trick. Anyone that's a music aficionado may know that Cheap Trick actually commenced their musical career in Rockford, Illinois. Three of them went to high school together. And the guy, what's his name, Robin Zander, the guy with the long blonde hair, the singer, he went to another high school up that way. So a bit of history there in Rockford. Yeah, we met a guy that's great friends with him. My God, I can't remember his name. He had someone Rainbird, Randy Rainbird. Very unusual name. Anyway, had a great time there, and on the Thursday morning, Bob was kind enough to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and drive me to O'Hare Airport. We're at a 6:20 flight out of there to Seattle, and then from Seattle back to San Diego. And I spent all the rest of my time, 6 more nights in San Diego with my good friends Martin and Lorelei Hirsch. We went and had some great meals, great pizza. Had a great New York pizza in San Diego. The guy was originally from Brooklyn, went to San Diego for a vacation, loved it, and he ended up opening a pizza joint down there. That was really good. Had some great meals in San Diego. Randy Rainwater, cool guy. Yeah, okay. There I was close. Yeah. What did I say? Rainbird, did I? Thanks, Bob. Thanks for that. Yeah, this guy is a drum technician, and he's got all this cool drum stuff and everything. And yeah, Bob bought some bits and pieces for a drum kit he's gifting somebody, which is extremely generous of him. Bob also has alpacas at his farm, and prior to me arriving, a local journalist from the Rock River Current, and I've worn the t-shirt too, Bob. It's good. His name is Kevin Hass. He came to interview Bob about his pinball collection, vintage pinball collection. Bob mentioned at the time that I would be there and he might like to talk to me. And the guy said, yeah, sure. And Bob mentioned this to me when we arrived, and I said, yeah, I'm happy with that, it's fine. And then coincidentally, Mark Gibson, who's also been to Bob's before, knew I was going there, and he wanted to catch up with Bob, and he was off visiting relatives not far away, so he drove over for the morning, and the three of us got interviewed by this guy, and I think I posted the link up on Facebook or something, and it's a pretty good interview the guy did, and he only made a couple of mistakes because he records it on a dictation machine. He spelt Newcastle with a space in between the W and the C, which we're Newcastle, one word. And we mentioned we were going to Nicholson's Hardware, and he got Nicholson's Hardware all horribly wrong. What did he say? Nicholas's, and didn't spell hardware right. And I mean, good God, the guy lives in Rockford. But anyway, I think he's been forgiven. And the reason I went to Nicholson's Hardware, people, for you people watching from the States, is the fact that we cannot buy easily in Australia the American threaded stuff. So
Yeah.
I bought some 832 nuts, I bought some machine screws, I bought pins, E-clips, metric, because
Yeah.
we can only get metric.
You done well.
And yeah,
We bought a lot of stuff for the lightning ball.
yeah, we bought stuff for Lightning Ball, and I was gifted some stuff. Thanks, Dave, for the coin shoot, and
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
yeah. So well, and we were given a lot of gifts too by different people, and too numerous to mention. Um, some of you may have been lucky enough to get one of our fridge magnets. And by the way, we've still got some of those for sale. A lot of people said they wanted to buy them, and we've still got them. So if anyone wants those fridge magnets,
There's only about 20 left.
only about 20,
Yeah.
get in. I can send them to you for $15 if you're in the US, of course. You need to post us that $15 because we don't deal in PayPal or anything like that,
Yeah.
or we don't have it. So if you want it, let us know, and I'll read the address to you now. It's number 27 Graham Street, Glendale. 27 Graham, Graham Street, Glendale, New South Wales, Australia. Zip code is 2285. Okay, now if you can't remember that, send me a message and I'll tell you, okay?
Just remember that they named the street after me.
And when you post it in the United States, it will take 2 weeks to arrive to us here in the goat shed. Well, once we receive it, we post it within 24 hours. It'll take 2 weeks to get back to you. So that's about a month turnaround,
Yeah.
okay? And we haven't had anyone write to us and say they never received it. And we haven't had Spanky knock the money off either.
No.
So there you go. If you want a magnet, I'll get. You want to go get one, Graham?
Yeah.
Or show them again. We'll have them available. And that was. I don't know if we'll get another run of them. We were talking about getting another run of the goat shed signs. There seems a bit more interest in them, but that was a big cock up. So we've got that sorted now, but we probably won't do anything about that till next year. Let's see, what's the time? Oh, we're doing well. Who's bored? Anyone got any questions about our trip to the United States? Please ask now. Yeah, no, Bob, it's just coincidental. And actually, they used to spell it Graeme when Graham first moved to this street in 1962. But at some point later, they changed it to Graham. So, and that's the way he spells his name. How cool's that? He feels he's proud of it anyway. Don't know if there's any other Grahams live in this street. It's a long street. It goes for about, it's roughly a mile in length, just under a mile in length. So a mile is 1.6 kilometres. I think the street's about 1.4 kilometres from, and it goes in a big curve like that. And we're on the downhill side. Yeah, so Bob was kind enough to drive me down to the airport. It was early day, and we got back to San Diego, as I said, and oh yeah, Brooklyn Pizza in San Diego, and we went over to Coronado, and really cool coming back on the flight. What's that? Really cool coming back on the flight. You fly in, and you go over, and you can see the Coronado Bridge, which is the bridge that stretches from San Diego to Coronado Island. And we went down to the ferry wharf there, and in San Diego we went to Seaport Village, and we went to a place called Mount Soledad. Now it's a national war memorial. It's high on a hill. You can look all over San Diego, La Jolla. It's just a great view. And we went there one day, and it was a bit cloudy and misty, and you couldn't see. And then we went there second day before I left, and it was really, really beautiful. Very solemn place. Pictures of fallen servicemen from right through World War One, the Korean War, Vietnam, World War Two, and a big monument there, Mount Soledad, Soledad, I think it was spelt. Yeah, another place we went to in San Diego was Point Loma. It's sort of an area, a neighbourhood, and they got this place called Liberty Station, which is an old naval base. I think the sailors used to live there. As most Americans know, San Diego has a huge naval presence, submarines, aircraft carriers. Even the old Midway's moored there, and it's a tourist attraction. And this Liberty Station had a lot of. It's been converted into boutique stores and bars and everything. And we went and had a couple of drinks in a few bars, and really, really good. As I said, alcohol's so cheap you don't know how good you got it. There's the goat shed magnets. They're a fridge magnet. Okay, they have the magnet on the back. So $15 if you want to send that to us. In Australia, posted, they're $10. But we've only got 20 left, and we would like to sell those because all the money we make here in the goat shed, not that we make a lot, it goes back into the goat shed. So, you know, I bought a couple of $100 worth of parts off John Peterson over there. I bought about $100 worth of parts off Pinball Resource. All parts that we need for different things. We've got a lot of our own parts here, but we just had to stock up while I was over there. I bought another set of spin tights, just the
well, they come in handy.
The cheap ones from the Home Depot's home brand, Husky, I think they are. I bought them. I've got them at home because I realised I haven't got a set at home. Not that I need to use them much. So yeah, that was pretty much the American tour. On tour, we were asked, would we like to go to other places? Craig was talking to me the other day about the Texas Pinball Show going next year. If you're still there, Craig, are you giving that any more thought? I don't think I'd go back next year. I'd like to have a year's rest. But I have been asked to go to a couple of places, which I won't name just yet. But one's a private place in northeastern California, and they have a whole week of repairing machines, and special invite only apparently, so that's why I don't want to say where it is. Some people might be privy to it or might be aware of it. So Tony, you're thinking about going to the Texas show? Oh, well, there you go. So yeah, I don't know if Craig was going to go. We've been told we should go to Allentown. We've been told we should go to Lodi. But the trouble is, obviously these shows are held at different times of the year, and the main reason we've been going in October is that we love the York show. That's where a lot of our friends are. That's where all the people that we met way back when Facebook started getting pinball groups and everything. So we really like to go there and not miss it. Only one person I didn't see at York this year. He didn't make it. I think there was a family wedding on, and that was Knox Patton Jr. Didn't see him. That was the first time. Only been 3 times, but you know, you sort of get to meet these people. You can only fit in so much in a time. Like in 2022, I was in the States 6 weeks. That went quick too. This time I was there a month and 3 days, I think it was. So I hope to get back in 2026 and do a few different things. And I'd like to probably do a little bit less pinball and do a bit more sightseeing. I would like to get over on the East Coast and look at Virginia, North and South Carolina. And I would like to get to Boston and, you know, even up Martha's Vineyard way just to have a look around. Even, dare I say, to you American people, go to Canada. Hope that's not a rude word. But yeah, I'd like to maybe do a bit more, but I've got to travel alone. My wife can't travel because she has bung ears and can't fly. And she saw the movie Titanic, so she doesn't want to sail. So that sort of buggers that up. So anyone that wants to hook up, let me know. We'll go on a road trip. Phil, are you up for that? Maybe he is. why don't we take you down to the shed now and just show you and what we're doing, and anyone wants to go to the shed, and we'll just show you what's going on down there.
It's always something different.
Let's go and have a little look. Oh dear. Oh, that's the Expo shirt. Yeah, had to get a big one. Goodness. Not that big. Here we go. Let's show you. Nope, there's the smoker. Hello, that's Rodney, Graham's brother, everybody. He's going into the shed. He's into slot cars, so he spray paints his slot cars down there.
Just finished one.
It's a lovely day.
Needs a bit of a mow.
Yeah, the yard's a bit. All right, so let's go in here and have a look. This is what do we got here? This is a Jungle Queen. We've basically finished this. That comes from Coffs Harbour, which is about 400k north of us. Playfield's all been waxed. All the score reels have been done, and it's ready to rock and roll. We've tested it. And our new apprentice Kyle is going up to buy a card whiz off this guy, and he is going to take that back for him. So that'll be good, and hopefully bring us our money back. Here's
Drop a card.
drop a card.
With the Hankin
And see what Graham's pointing to, that wood.
Yeah.
Hankin used to do that, so we can safely assume this is an Australian machine, and it's got that stuff on it, and that indicates it was a Hankin game.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the only bad part is this here and where the pop bumpers live. Look, I don't know that we'll bother doing anything about that. And we could, but it's not a full restore.
No. Like, yeah.
We've got all the drop targets out up there, and we've got to rebuild all them. And
Oh, they're shocking.
yeah, they're not good, are they?
Yeah, what's this one? This one's got a yellow.
Oh, okay.
That's out of a 2000.
Pop it down there, and you'll see it. See, this one here's got a yellow star on it. So,
and as you can see, it's pretty disgusting. So we're going to strip it down to nothing.
we're going to rebuild that.
We've got 3 of them to do.
Now remember, we've done a lot of videos on drop targets, so we probably won't be doing another one, but we might show our apprentice.
One of these little 4 ones, because I don't know if Kyle's built any drop.
No, he hasn't. Yeah,
well, this will be good for him, because
we'll do that.
We've got a few sets to do.
Yeah. So we're doing that. Now let's just go back out into the other room. Here we go.
Oh yeah, vacuum foreman.
So that was just a quick tour of what we've got up to in the other shed. I turned off the sound because his brother's out there on the telephone making a phone call. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on there. You've got a bit of a glimpse at that Close Encounters of the Third Kind. As I said, we'll probably be doing a video on that.
Let's go on. Let's get in there. There's not only a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple of little things we've got to do to it. It's got a couple of issues.
Yeah, weird issues.
weird ones.
Nothing we can't tackle. It'd be just a pain.
We had a little bit of a quick look at it yesterday, and just haven't got a lot of room out there. We're waiting for that machine.
Well,
There's a machine.
once this one goes, we can bring the dropper card and body out here.
Yeah. So this Jungle Queen behind me, we showed you earlier on, that's it's going to leave us Monday at lunchtime. It'll get put into Kyle's car, and he's going to drive it up to Coffs Harbour the next day. So we'll bring the dropper card in, and that'll be a bit more room out there, and then we'll be able to get at that close encounters. It's a bit awkward to work on where it is at the moment.
Yeah, and you can't really get around the back of it real easy.
So that'll make life easier. All right, now I haven't checked any. How is the Jungle Queen going? Oh, okay. Well, it's pretty well ready to go,
Yeah,
Kyle.
we're just testing
We
it.
resolved that other little problem. It was just a bad switch. Jungle Queen player 1 wasn't going to 100,000. The replays are set at 100. It wasn't carrying over. In other words, the light, the relay that pulls in to light the 100,000 light wasn't coming on. It was simply just a switch adjacent to the end of stroke switch on it, which is part of the carryover circuit. Just it was touching, but it must have had a bit of something on it.
Terrible. We've been having trouble with that. Like,
Cleaned it up, and player 3 did the same, so that's all fixed up now. Just a bit more further testing.
same as like our close encounters. We had brand new flipper switches on it, and the flippers didn't work because the switches needed cleaning.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, Craig just is not confirmed. It was a Qantas sale. Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as I said, these shows, you know, they're all good. You know, I've heard good things and bad things about the Texas show. I mean, everyone here knows, and I don't make any secret of it, that I'm really not interested in solid state games, really at all. And most people tell me that Texas is more about those. So, tell me if I'm wrong. You know, maybe I am, but yeah. I probably won't go to that. And Allentown, well, I've told it's not quite as personable as the York show. It's a better show, a lot of people say. But I think that's on in the May or something like that. So it sort of doesn't align with when we want to come to the United States. I think Kim beat me in every game we played. Is that normal? I'm not much of a player, Bob, but I think I had a bit of one really good ball. That's all it takes in pinball. One good ball. That's all you need. It was the one with the yellow wire on it, Kyle. What was it? The score that was on player 1. Was it the switch on the 10,000 or the 1,000?
On the 10,000.
Yeah, 10,000. Yeah, it was the one on the 10,000 reel. Not the end of stroke switch. The one on the outside.
Yep.
And player 3 did exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but we're going to give it another test.
We're going to give it another test in a
It
minute.
should be sweet.
Yeah.
But it's playing good.
I just want to show everyone this. I got Bob on the I don't know, Bob, if Fiona's there. I'm not sure if she is. There's a little piece of art that Bob's young daughter, I think, what's Fiona, 10 or 11-year-old. That's Spanky and his girlfriend, the goats. Isn't that great?
Spanky
So that lives on our filing cabinet there, and that will stay for
Pride of place.
in certain pride of place. So Bob, I don't know if Fiona's there, but yeah, there it is. Maybe you want to. I think I sent Shannon a photo of that. So yeah, I did. So you've already got it. That was a great.
Everyone sees that when they come in the shed.
A great gift. Yeah, a few people have already remarked about that. So a little bit of artwork we had there. All right, people. Well, look.
Yeah, we've got a game turning up.
We've got a game arriving this morning, which we mentioned earlier on. It's Gottlieb's Ice Sharp. We did mention that earlier. So all I can say here is thanks for watching our videos and being part of our extended family. We've got people from all around the world now watching our videos. Obviously United States is the biggest audience, generally followed by Australia and or Canada, and We've got people from the United Kingdom, Germany, South Africa, France, and some of the Denmark, the Netherlands. Yeah, people from all around the world. We'll be doing more videos soon, and we've been, you know, obviously with me being away, and we haven't had the opportunity to do other stuff, and we'll get back to it soon. So, and please remember to let us know if there's any videos that you really want to see or get done. I was given a couple of suggestions while I was away. People keep asking about schematics. Look, as I've said many times, we don't have the software on a laptop that can draw all the lines. So people such as John Robertson from flippers.com, he's done Schematics 101 at a show a few years ago. That's on YouTube. Just look it up, Schematics 101. David Volansky from the Pacific Pinball Museum's done one. So, you know, really, I don't see any need for us to do one. And as I said, we don't really have all that equipment. We're very simple. We just have, at the moment, we're on a tablet talking to you. Sometimes we use a cell phone, and we have a gimbal, and we have a microphone, which I forgot to plug in today. So that would mean that the sound quality is not quite as good as you're normally used to. And we have, of course, we have a goat right there. There he is.
Checking out the work.
And his USA flag's just about coming off his flank. All right, people. Well, unless anyone has any more questions, I don't know that you do or you don't. I think we'll end this video, and we'll see you again very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.